In the summer of 2011, my family and I went to Manzanillo, Mexico for about 2 weeks and stayed in a hotel that was right next to the beach, which was pretty nice. And I remember in the middle of the hotel lobby, there was this giant aquarium. It'd be full of big pink and bright orange coral. And I had never seen anything so beautiful before, and I would have never thought that my actions would directly harm them. We all live in a world that's becoming more populated, which means more mouths to feed and more carbon dioxide emissions are being made. With more emissions, the ocean continuously changes, and the marine life such as coral can no longer survive in their habitat. The Coral Reef Alliance is an organization that is the first step in starting to take care of not only the coral reefs that are near us, but all coral reefs. And after hearing my speech, you will get involved with the Coral Reef Alliance. Now, I've always had a place in my heart for coral reefs for as long as I could remember. And I did a lot of research so that I make sure you understand why this is a very concerning issue. So in my speech today, I'll be talking about the main problem that coral reefs are facing, the best solution to that problem, and lastly, going over the benefits of getting involved with the Coral Reef Alliance and what it will do for you. So now that I've established that, let me start explaining the problem and the coral reefs are currently facing. Okay. The problem that coral reefs are facing, they are great, and it immensely impacts us all. Coral reefs are dying at a fast rate in a process called coral bleaching. In a 2020 article that was done by the National Ocean Service, described coral bleaching as when coral are stressed by changes such as temperature, light, nutrients, and they expel this symbiotic algae living in their tissue, causing them to turn completely white, which means the coral has died. Now, coral reefs provide a great amount of shelter for fish and other marine life, which allows the cycle of aquatic life to happen. Furthermore, in an article titled Why I Care About Coral Reefs that was published by the Coral Reef Alliance, it stated that coral reefs are important. They are an important food source for people who live near reefs, and as nurseries, they are vital to the world's fisheries. And the abundance of carbon dioxide emissions increasing every day creates even more destruction for that cycle. And there already is an example, one of them being from American Samoa during El Nino of 2015. And El Nino, for those who don't know, is a climate change phenomenon that is characterized by the appearance of higher than usual water temperatures, which allow these corals to bleach since they aren't used to those high temperatures of water. And coral bleaching is eventually going to ruin many jobs around the world. However, this extent goes all the way for the fishing industry. According to a study done by Frontiers in Marine Sciences, stated that overfishing is considered among the top anthropogenic stressors responsible for coral reefs decline. And in the article Direct Threats that was published by the Coral Reef Alliance, stated that their efforts in overfishing can lead to the collapse or near collapse of fish stocks, which not only threaten the economic stability and food security of local communities, but also puts coral reefs at a significant risk. And the people who are deeply impacted by the health of corals are those who do live in those coastal communities. From a 2020 World Wildlife Fund article, it states that more than 850 million people live close to coral reefs and benefit from the food, the jobs, and protection they provide. And they're estimated to be worth over $375 billion each year. Who would have thunk it? If the health of coral reefs are not more recognized in these industries, such as fishing and the coastal cities, they will be in financial danger and struggle in the coming years. So now to go over the main problem, let's go over the main solution. Now, the biggest solution that we can do for coral reefs right now is living sustainably. And what I mean by that is trying to reduce your carbon footprint in different ways to fight off the impacts of global warming and lessen any large-scale threats towards the coral reefs. And this can be implemented in different ways, but the question you need to ask yourself is, what can I change in my daily life to become more sustainable? And there are many options, such as switching to compact fluorescent light bulbs, using reusable bags, and when shopping to decrease any negative impacts of pollution to our oceans, and using water more wisely to prevent any runoff water and wastewater to end up in the ocean. Plus, it saves money on your water bill. Now that I went over the main solution, let's go over the benefits of joining the Coral Reef Alliance. Now all of us can benefit from joining the Coral Reef Alliance. People who are in the Coral Reef Alliance work in collaboration with people who are mostly connected to coral reefs and work in places such as Hawaii, Honduras, Fiji, and more. This organization has had many programs that last over 5 years in those places, and this organization is the first stepping stone for you to get involved in the well-being of coral. And joining the organization wouldn't look too bad on a resume, but the organization can't do everything alone. We must do our share. If we as individuals take no action about this, in the same article published by the World Wildlife Fund stated that anywhere from 70 to 90% of tropical coral reefs could be lost by 2100. And if we as in the world fail to keep warming from reaching 2 degrees Celsius more, almost no reefs will survive. So now that I've gone over the benefits of joining the Coral Reef Alliance, let's wrap this up. To sum this up, I touched on the main problem that is happening to the coral reefs, the main solution to that problem, and why joining the Coral Reef Alliance will not only benefit the coral reefs but also benefit you. We have to do our share in this coral reef crisis, because if we don't, people in the fish industry will lose their jobs due to the supply of fish becoming low, and coastal communities that rely on coral reefs have the great possibility to fall into poverty. So please do your part and join the alliance today so that coral reefs can have a better tomorrow. Thank you for listening.